Hello, I'm Cream, and seeing as how we're approaching the new year, I thought it would be really productive to get ahead on things and set some goals for 2026, and hopefully it can inspire some of you to set similar goals. I wanted to also throw in lots of tips I've learned along the way, so I hope this helps. I started this channel a little under a year ago and turned it into an art channel even sooner. Since that time, I've been very bad at keeping a consistent upload schedule. This is all primarily due to really poor time management on my part, but also from other factors that I'll touch on. I was inspired to make a video like this after watching Tiny Doodle's 2025 art goals video. Like many people, I often set goals for myself every new year, but somehow I've never really considered applying that to my artwork. Now that I'm running a YouTube channel, I think this will be especially helpful in keeping a clear vision and making sure I can put out art consistently and without burnout. But first, here are some mistakes I've made and what I've learned so that you can hopefully steer clear of them in your journey. For this video, I highly encourage you to just draw while you listen and take notes if anything sticks with you. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 is acting like you're a machine. The easiest way to burn yourself out is to set deadlines you can't meet. One of two things will typically come from this. Either A, you missed the deadline even though you worked really hard and it leaves you feeling really bad about yourself. Or B, you need to sacrifice a lot of the quality of the video and not get as much done with it as you planned. Generally, the rule of getting something out even if it's not perfect is true and can be a beneficial learning experience, but in today's climate it can be devastating for many artists to produce artwork they're not proud of. There's important lessons to be learned here. When starting to upload online, if your ultimate goal is both growth and consistency, take some time to consider how busy your schedule is with other things. How long does it take for you to get a drawing done or to edit a video, for instance, on average? For a video, it's common practice to have at least a few fully rendered illustrations on hand. If you draw very quickly and can fully edit a video you're content with on a weekly basis, this might be perfect for you. But if you're like me, you might be a little bit slower to produce finished pieces and spend more time editing videos to the standard that I like. I learned the hard way that a weekly schedule was not the right path for me and led me to rushing and cutting corners to get done faster so I could get a video out for the next week because I was afraid of letting people down. So I inevitably got burnt out and gave up for a short while. Instead, one video every 2 weeks is probably what would be perfect for me and other artists like me. Taking your time can also enhance the quality of your content. Something you might notice is that a lot of the larger creators in the space actually upload around this rate, if not a little bit longer apart. This can be scary for smaller artists if you're worried about the numbers, but this method allows for higher quality videos that give your video an important quality, which is rewatchability. This gives some of your subscribers something to enjoy a couple times while anticipating your next upload, and boom, 2 weeks goes by and there's another video that was even better than your last one. Getting the pacing right is not only important for your channel, it's also very important for you too. Number 2 is perfectionism. I spent almost this entire year worried about all the wrong things. I went through sort of an art style crisis where I couldn't settle on one thing and continually felt like my artwork had to look like someone else's because my own style just wasn't good enough. This also manifested itself in other parts of my work, like feeling as though my visuals for my videos needed constant improvement, which then turned into feeling like they needed to be improved upon in order to post, and a lot of other aggressive cycles. This is where my advice on just posting something anyways comes into play. You may or may not have heard the practice of 1% improvements every day. If putting pressure like this on yourself sounds familiar, try this out. If you already have all the assets you need to make a video right now, start with those and just post something with that. You are 1% better now because you went from not posting to finally uploading something. Then, while you're working on your next video, use your preferred weekly planning method and allocate time during the week to work on your updated assets. The end goal is that you have a collection of assets that are timeless and you can reuse for years because they always look good to you. You've improved by 1% for each of these things because now you have structure, that's 1%. Now you took the time to come out with improved visuals without halting your schedule, another 1%. And now you've saved yourself so much time because you don't even have to touch your assets anymore, and your time can fully go towards your videos, personal art, and practicing. This is something you can apply to just about anything. Don't like the way your art looks? Okay. Write down what you don't like about it. Now spend 1 to 2 days at a time improving upon and getting better at those things. After each of those sessions, now you're better at it. The point is, of course you haven't mastered the skill in just a short time, but you're better at it. So imagine the improvement after several more sessions. Number 3 is mindset. Confidence in itself is characterized by the ability to rely on something, but this begins by being able to trust and rely on yourself. When I routinely set unrealistic expectations for myself and I can't accomplish those goals in the time frame I allowed for myself, it makes me lose confidence. Lower confidence is highly attributable to procrastination, and procrastination is often what leads to comfort-seeking behavior, as in doom scrolling or other activities you use to soothe and distract yourself from your tasks. Your inability to trust yourself with the task leads you to hide from it as long as you can, only snapping out of it with very little time before the deadline. So how can we fix this going forward? First, write down 10 things you want to accomplish and rank them by priority, and include how much time you think this should take you to complete. Now open up your planner again. Let's pretend today is January 7th and I decided that my deadline is January 16th. I work from home, so my hours are different, but for the average person, let's assume you have 4 to 5 hours of free time to spare. Using the 1% improvement rule, here's how we can allocate these tasks to get as much done as possible with as little stress as possible. Always make sure that you're planning to have some wiggle room, because chances are something will come up and you'll have to make minor or larger adjustments to your schedule. Maybe a lower priority item couldn't get done in the time frame for the deadline, but no worries, just assign it to your next project. I also recommend utilizing time blocking applications so that you're able to really get a visual on what needs to get done and how certain tasks fit into your day. Usually these are equipped with reminders, which makes things that much easier to accomplish. Your weeks will start off busier, but as time goes on, there will be some tasks you never have to repeat again, thus opening up more time in your schedule. This gives you the opportunity to grow your confidence in yourself, and if you're doing more personal art in your free time or just getting ahead on editing, to fall back in love with it. Those were my biggest hurdles over this last year, and with all that I've learned, I'm confident that I can make 2026 my best year thus far with regard to my art journey. So to prove this to myself and get back into the habit of putting out videos, I didn't want to wait until January to start uploading again, so I've turned December into sort of a race. I'm going to be uploading 3 videos this month. This is an exercise in putting out videos that I'm proud of and that I'm happy with, but trying to expose myself to imperfection so that I know I can put out a good video without stopping myself because of insignificant details that I have all the time in the world to fix and just incorporate at a later date. That was a lot of info, but I hope you can understand why I wanted to include it. With all of that being said, let's actually get into my goals for 2026. For social media, my overall end goal is just achieving consistency. So every month, I'll be able to check in and see if this has worked out for me. If not, I'll make the necessary adjustments, but for right now, I've just set up a baseline that I feel works for me. For YouTube, after my first upload in January, my goal is to post 1 full-length video once every 2 weeks and aim for 1 to 2 shorts per week. The extra space in between uploads seems much more ideal, as this can give me even just 1 day of downtime in between uploads, which would be so nice compared to what I used to do previously. And I have much more time to create more diverse forms of content throughout the upload gap. That, and obviously higher quality videos for each of you to enjoy. For Instagram, I'd be reposting these shorts, so 1 to 2 reels per week, and then 1 to 2 feed posts a week. This could be doodle dumps or any finished pieces I was able to get done either as a personal piece or for a video that just went out or is going too soon. For my personal goals, I wanted to create a healthy balance in my work art and personal art. Plus, I'm trying to actively keep on drawing for fun and improving my work throughout the year. At least 2 personal pieces each week is something I feel is manageable. This again can be fully rendered pieces, sketch or doodle pages, maybe a small animated piece, or simply just starting one. For some of my minor goals, I want to get better at interacting with and supporting other artists. All too often, I find myself scrolling through Instagram and seeing an art piece and thinking, this is pretty good, and I'll usually like it, but just keep on scrolling. Instead, I want to start showing more support, leaving nice comments, and doing my best to boost it too. Supporting fellow artists is always a great way to spread love. Plus, you never know what just a little bit of kindness can do for someone. Something I really want to do is to participate in some animation memes and maybe some animatics too. I've done both of these in the past and it was a fun process, so I'd love to try it again in my current style. This year, I want to learn how to animate. Something, anything. 2D animation is something I've wanted to learn for a very long time now, so this year I just want to set aside time for that. Who knows, maybe I'll like it and it can lead to other projects. I'll be applying the 1% daily improvement method to my work. No more trying to overhaul my art style, just find what's natural to me and perfect it over the year. That way, I'll be exactly where I want it to be for a long time now. My final goal, in order to get a visual of my improvement throughout the year, at the start of the year, I'm going to draw an art piece. Then 6 months later, I'll redraw it around mid-year, and for the end of the year, I'll draw it once more. And that about covers it. This was a little different than my usual videos, but I think it was very important for me to make. I really hope any of this advice in this video can help some of you if you're feeling a little lost like I was. I can say with certainty that this was really therapeutic, and I'm going into 2026 feeling super optimistic. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video!